I'm in the hood till my message filled. Spitting bars in the studio until I get a record deal. I pass metal detectors with my weapon still. Mel Gibson ain't this deep the way my weapon killed.
Before A Boogie with the Hoodie would have himself a #1 album on the Billboard 200 charts. Before A Boogie was named a 2017 XXL Freshman. Before he would collab with everyone from Chris Brown, 21 Savage, Kodak Black, Tory Lanez, NBA Youngboy, Juice WRLD, Young Thug, PNB Rock, 6ix9ine, and many more.
I didn't really think I had it in the beginning, like I didn't, but I just kept on doing it over and over. And then I got it after a while.
Before he would have close to 500K followers on Twitter, 3 million subscribers on YouTube, and more than 4.3 million followers on Instagram at the time of this recording. Before A Boogie would pull up looking way too fly, he was just an artist from the jungle who was unhappy and drowning in his thoughts, looking for somebody to give him his shine. He may seem nonchalant about it now, but when we look back at it, A Boogie has one hell of a story. A Boogie has quickly become one of the most influential artists for an entire new generation of fans and artists alike, and if someone making music now says they're not influenced by A Boogie, I might say they're lying. And I have a feeling when it's all said and done, we're gonna look back at Boogie basically the same way we look at Chief Keef now, which is a legend. His latest album dominated the charts and continues to spawn hits, but before all the fame, he was just a kid named Artist writing raps in his bedroom. This is the story of A Boogie. What's going on, good people in the comment section? Shout out to the Toilet Gang, which is basically just anyone watching on the toilet right now. My name is Jeremy Hecht. I hope you're having one heck of a day, and I'll be your host today as we are documenting the life and career of A Boogie prior to fame here for you on Before They're Famous. If you're new here, I'm the LA host for this channel. I've recently done videos on DaBaby, Lil Nas X, and more, so be sure to check those out after you finish watching this one. I was gonna wear a hoodie, because, you know, what a funny joke, A Boogie with the hoodie, but it was boiling in here, so I'm basically wearing this mesh workout shirt, so if you can see through my shirt, I apologize. But before we start, I do have a trivia question for you. What was A Boogie's 7th grade nickname? We will answer that at the end of the video. Also, stick around because I have a big announcement, big public apology that I will be giving to the viewers at the end of this video. I really messed up. I really did, guys, and I just wanted to own up to it and let you guys know that I acknowledged my mistake. So stick around for that. All right, let's get into the video.
Before they're famous.
Before they were famous about.
That was a pretty good video.
I like what this guy does.
Look, Ruddy, you did a great job.
Michael is never wrong.
So damn, that was cool.
How did he know that? Whoa!
A Boogie was born on December 6, 1995 in the Bronx, New York, and from day one, he was destined for superstardom. With his real name being Artist Julius Dubose, there was no chance that creativity wasn't in his blood. Although he said that people would make fun of his name as a kid, and he originally hated it. Artist grew up in the neighborhood of Highbridge with his parents and brother, and Highbridge is also the same neighborhood that Cardi B grew up in. And A Boogie also grew up with fellow Highbridge native Don Q, and in Highbridge, they said that the summers were always hot and everyone was always outside. When he was 9 years old, he would listen to Beanie Siegel and Cassidy, taking in their lyricism along with the throwback music his dad would play in the car. When he was 12 years old, inspired by artists like 50 Cent and Kanye's College Dropout, Artist started to live up to his name and began writing songs in his notebook. Artist was a shy kid who sat in the back of the classroom and kept to himself. He was always too nervous to show anyone his real work, so he would find a quiet spot alone in the gym and write down his thoughts in his notebook.
I had a notebook. In the notebook, I explained it all. It's not one moment you see me in classroom, you think I'm doing work. Came out to be good though.
Artist loved the movie Paid in Full so much, watching it nearly every day, that his friends started to call him A Boogie based on a character in the movie.
Cause if you get fucking busted, you fucking all of my shit up. You understand that? And I ain't having that.
And in high school, he was wearing a hoodie to school every day, so they added that onto his name and it stuck.
A Boogie comes from me just being in the Bronx, Boogie down Bronx, you know how that go. And hoodie came in from me just wearing a hoodie all the time.
He would carry his notebook with him everywhere he went, even taking it to school. And it was in high school that he rapped publicly for the first time during a lunchroom cypher. And when it was his turn to spit a verse, he killed it, impressing everyone else in the room. But even though he was a quiet kid, that doesn't mean that he wasn't getting into trouble outside of school. He would constantly get into fights and even had a machete pulled on him right outside of the school. To keep him on the right path, his parents shipped him off to the performance-based Preparatory Academy, there we go, in Florida, although some of his credits didn't transfer from New York, so he was held back a year. After graduating from high school, he worked 3 random jobs within the span of 3 weeks, including construction jobs and as a pizza delivery guy to make some money, but the money didn't take him very far, so he began to find other ways to make cash. And while it did get him a little change, it also got him arrested 5 times and 2 years probation with 1 year house arrest. But it wasn't for nothing, because it was during that time alone in the house that he made the decision to take music seriously. His dad bought him a basic microphone, and Boogie learned how to record his own vocals on his computer. It was in Florida that he met a producer named Mr. White, and together they made his first ever studio song called Temporary.
And I was on house arrest at the time too, so I couldn't really leave my house. And I was like, nah, I can't really leave and shit, man. But he was like, you ain't got no anklet. You ain't got no anklet, we out.
After that, he spent every single day in the studio. What really inspired the pain in A Boogie's music, though, was heartbreak. He was dating a girl for 3 months, but came to find out that she had been pregnant the whole time, so he was going through the emotions of preparing for fatherhood and writing some songs, but then he found out some even more shocking news, that the baby wasn't his. And that's when he started to really write emotionally charged music and dealing with that heartbreak, and ironically, that is the same music that the world fell in love with. Once he had that down, he started putting some of his work on SoundCloud, but was not seeing the results he wanted, so he knew that he needed a real strategy. So he began to plan out how he would use social media to his advantage, and he started to see some real results. Within just a few months, he blew up on Pandora, and his songs received more than 5 million plays on the site, which led to 10,000 people clicking like on his Facebook page. Facebook was actually the first social media platform that A Boogie blew up on, and he told Forbes, "Before I was even famous, I was famous on Facebook." People were quoting his lines in their statuses and sharing his videos at a rapid pace, so much so that DJ Khaled and Meek Mill both gave him cosigns. When A Boogie dropped his first mixtape, it was a very polarizing sound at the time, especially being from New York, where old school hip hop heads grew up on a certain classic NY boom bap sound that A Boogie definitely deviated from. But people started to recognize his talent, and his unique sound caught on. Even New York radio stations began to come around and play his music. A Boogie decided to take his online fame into real life with his first ever live show, which he sold out, and it was that sold out BB King Blues Club show that got the attention of major labels, including Atlantic Records, who inked a deal with him shortly afterwards. Him and his childhood friends had created a label together named after where they grew up, called Highbridge the Label, and they used to sit on their couch and plot about how they could one day make a lot of money.
When I moved from Highbridge, me, Bubba, and QP lived together, so we used to sit down on the couch and just playing out our little projects, so everything that we doing right now is just like, we read it out already, for real.
Atlantic signed the entire label to a deal also, and Boogie went from house arrest to studio arrest, basically spending every hour perfecting his sound in the booth. And in less than a year after recording his first mixtape, Boogie had over 120 million YouTube views and got asked by Drake himself to open for him in future at their sold out Madison Square Garden show. Since then, A Boogie has dropped a lot more music and continues to dominate the chart. Most recently, he dropped the video for his song Swervin, and although Tekashi is featured on the song, as you can guess, he is nowhere to be found in the music video. As for his message to all of you guys out there who are working on your music, I think A Boogie had some really good advice in his Montreality interview that might be helpful to at least one person out there, so I'm gonna leave it right here.
To always be yourself, be original at what you do. Don't look at someone that's doing good and be like, oh, I want to be like them, so I'm gonna do what they did. It's always another way. Just be true to yourself, for me, and always know where you came from.
I had to change my shirt because I was a little bit sweaty, but I did have to mention A Boogie's daughter and how much Melody Valentine has changed his life. Also, with a name like Melody Valentine, just like artist, it seems like she's destined to be a star. So we're really happy for him there, and it seems like him and his girlfriend Ella Bands are as happy as ever, and just moved into a new place this year. So congrats to the happy family.
Stop thinking about you, but even when I do, I'll be reminiscing bad things I did and I knew you hate me, you hate me.
In terms of his first nickname though, he was A Real in around the 7th grade before A Boogie, and there you have the answer to the question from the beginning of the video. But now, it's time for, it's hard to do. It's time for a public apology from myself to you, the fans of Before They Were Famous, the viewers. On my last video, David Dobrik's The Rich Life, I said some things that were incorrect. So I said that David Dobrik, big YouTuber, one of the biggest in the game, I said that he gave a Jeep to to his sister. Now, if you know anything about David Dobrik, you know that that wasn't his sister, which I didn't know, and I was exposed for giving the wrong information. I apologize because I did say that David was one of my favorite YouTubers. What I meant by that was he is one of my favorite personalities on YouTube. If I make a mistake in the future, I will apologize for it at the end of one of these videos. So that's all I got for you. David, shout out to you. You're still one of my favorite personalities on the site, not necessarily one of my favorite YouTubers. I will reword that for the next one. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you're still here, appreciate you. Dream good, live better. I'll see you in the next video, and hope you have one heck of a day.